Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Open Dialogue, the number one podcast based out of Utah Valley, a podcast dedicated to exploring religion, relationships, reflections on the world, and everything in between. Most importantly, promoting a no-filter, open, safe space for discussion where every voice matters. I'm your host, Samson. Thank you for listening, watching, and deciding to spend some time with us today. Allow me to introduce the guest joining us today. I met Mohamed Hassan back in the old ancient days of high school. Being surrounded by a mutual friend group, I grew to know his cousin very well, and I grew to know him as a hardworking and fun individual. Unfortunately, life led us to not keep in touch for a while, almost 8 years basically. In that time, Mo attended Utah State and Weber State studying finance and accounting, which would lead him to a financial advisor internship at Northwestern Mutual. All this in preparation to become a self-starter entrepreneur accredited with the creation of the LiveFast Clothing Brand, in which he advocates and brings awareness to mental health challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, Mohamed Hassan, bro, welcome.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Dude, welcome.
sir. Live fast in the house. Thank you, brother.
Dude,
That was a great intro.
thank you.
You kill it like you've always been.
Well, I appreciate that.
Thank you for doing that.
Thank you. Thank you very much, man. So yeah, dude, first of all, it's been a fat minute. I mean, we'd had a little conversation before we started recording, but dude, it's been a minute. How are you doing, man?
It's been like what, 8 years, was it?
Yeah.
8, 9 years?
Yep.
I mean, wow, almost a decade. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
That's insane. But yeah, we were catching up, man. It's good to see you doing your thing. But before we get started,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I do just want to give you your flowers
Oh,
for what you're doing for the
oh,
community.
man, dude.
You're doing what you do, using your platform to be able to have people like myself come on to be able to share our story. That's great stuff.
Appreciate that.
So
Thank you.
genuinely, thank you for what you're doing, brother.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate that very much, man. And I just kind of want to jump right into it. So you went to two colleges. You went to Utah State and Weber. What was like, did you, so what did you get a degree in? Did you get a degree? Did you finish? What was going on with there?
Yeah, bro. So I graduated summer of 2016 from West High School, and then I went to Utah State for I think about a year, and then I decided to go to Weber State after that to try to pursue a accounting degree, which turned out to be something that I didn't want to continue to do.
Okay.
But yeah, I did that for a little bit. While I was at Weber State, I was actually doing the internship at Northwestern Mutual
Okay.
as a financial advisor.
Yeah.
Did that for a little bit, and then just realized that like maybe this industry or this specifically isn't for me.
Mm.
And then not to just jump right into it, but that's actually what sparked the business that I'm doing now, the
Okay.
LiveFast Brands. I was actually going through a crazy time in my life, dealing with anxiety,
Mm.
depression, suicidal. I was suicidal.
Wow.
And so I was like, I don't want to go to school no more. I don't want to do the internship. Like, I just want to be able to see if I can deal with my mental health and hopefully don't take my own life, you
Yeah.
know? So um, that's how the Live Fast brand sparked. But hope that
Oh no, dude, that's amazing, man. And like, so like with the, and I'm very inexperienced when it comes to things such as mental health and these issues, anxiety, stuff like that. And so like would you say and you left college pretty early. What was that decision like? Like after just was it hard? Was it easy?
Yeah, bro, that's a good question, by the way. That was like one of the hardest things that I had to do,
Mm,
simply because I come from a background of like education first.
mm.
Education. We came from Africa, Kenya, Nairobi,
Nice.
and so parents like basically sacrificed everything for
Yeah.
us to get a good life.
Mm,
Education, education, education. Not saying that it's bad, but when you're in a position like that growing up and you
mm,
make a decision to say I want to do something else or I
mm.
want to take a break,
Yeah.
um, that also I think contributed to like my mental, just having to deal with that side of things as far as making a decision like that. But that was yeah one of the hardest decisions that I had to make in my life at that point,
Yeah.
leaving college early.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I feel you. My family came from Nigeria, and it's literally the same exact mold of like they sacrifice so much. And part of the reason for me, I would actually agree with you there, is that whereas I have sacrificed my friends and certain fun activities I could be involved in, it was school. It was
Right,
always school.
right.
And so like I definitely feel that. And so with that then, when you decided, look, school's not for me, this financial whole thing is not for me. What then, like you said, it inspired the Live Fast brand. So first of all, tell us what is the Live Fast? You're wearing the shirt. First of all, take freaking logo. Like, what is the Live Fast brand?
Yeah, bro. So LiveFast Brands is a lifestyle brand that deals with mental health. It started so the originality of LiveFast Brands started with, like I mentioned, leaving school,
Hmm.
trying to deal with my mental. I was just going through a tough period, bro, dealing with anxiety, depression, being suicidal. And then there was a time in my life, I don't remember exactly when it was, but it was during that time where I was like inspired by like uh certain people in my life that were seemed like they were going through much worse things than I was. And for me, it was like, damn, like you couldn't even tell they were going through what they were going through because of the smile on their face. So it was like an inspiration.
Yeah.
And so it was like, well, damn, like I want to be able to inspire somebody.
Hmm.
So one of our mission statements with our brand is live to inspire.
Okay.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to work hard and do what you love. You look at athletes, you look at celebrities, you look at rock stars, they have so many following simply because they inspire people
Mm,
to go after what they want to do. But basically, I was just inspired by people in my life to create the lifestyle of living fast. Simply means no matter what happens to you in your life, don't ever stop moving forward. So if you look at our
okay.
logo, the icon, he's moving forward like he's sprinting. So he's moving forward. No matter what happens to you, don't ever stop moving forward. And the other thing that a lot of people get confused with is the word fast has a negative, well, it has a connotation of like living reckless. And
Okay.
we're not promoting a brand that's telling you to go live reckless. Simply saying live fast that no matter what happens, don't stop moving forward at a fast pace,
Mm,
good or bad, especially bad, don't stop moving forward. And the second part of our brand is live to excuse me, life is too short, which is pretty self-explanatory. But when I was going through what I was going through, the people that inspired me made me realize like how short this journey is,
mm,
and losing a family member made me appreciate that journey that much more. And so it was like, well, if you come to realization and acceptance of understanding that life is short,
yeah.
I think you have more gratitude. You know what I mean?
Mm,
And so and then the last part is live to inspire, which I just explained earlier, is living my life to inspire somebody else. And I feel like I can do that by telling my story, by advocating for mental health awareness, by investing in my purpose, because I feel like this is my calling. So
yeah.
that's the
Dude,
originality
that is
of Live Fast
amazing.
Brands.
First of all, congratulations. Like
Thank you.
it doesn't it's really difficult to get up one day and be like, I'm gonna create something from nothing.
Mm,
Very difficult.
mm,
And so I applaud that you have done that. And I just want to say, like, for me, I feel inspired by people who do live fast, people who do progress forward,
mm,
even when the odds are pushing you backwards, right?
mm,
And I feel like it's kind of been a reoccurring theme, but it gets hard. And so in your in your situation, because I'm very sure, I mean, deciding against parents' wishes, I'm sure, to leave college, to start something from nothing, like it's hard. And
right.
so what exactly about this mission statement, what exactly about living this lifestyle enables you and empowers you to move forward all the time?
Mm. That's a great question again, bro. You're hitting it. But so the reason why I value this lifestyle, um, and why I'm so invested in the purpose of what I'm trying to accomplish is because this lifestyle saved my life. So I was suicidal. You know, I
Mm,
was going to take my own life. And then I started to create the lifestyle of living fast, understanding that no matter what happens, I have to move forward in my life, understanding that this life is not that long. So I got to appreciate it a lot more than I did,
yeah,
have more gratitude for everything, the good, especially the bad, and then wanting to live my life to inspire other people because so many other people inspired me.
yeah.
So that in a nutshell saved my life. So it was like if
Mm,
it can save my life, then it has some kind of value. So I looked at it as like, how can I tell my story in hopes of impacting other people so that they can maybe, I don't know, save their life or impact them in a positive way to live fast and take everything that we do with this brand and apply it to their life. So it's One, mental health, definitely. Enhancing the awareness of mental health, but wanting to be able to leave an impact on people's lives for sure
That's
is the
amazing.
reason why.
That's amazing, man. I feel like for me, um, I've been able to realize that, like, I love that you said life is. I love that that's a principle
Mm,
to understand. This mortal life we live in, like
right.
this body we got, ain't gonna last
Right.
forever, right? And
Exactly.
when you understand that, I think that it's really easy to realize that, hey, look, every day is a day for me to impact someone.
Mm,
Like every day is a day for me to do something. Like it doesn't matter how big or small, right? It's
it's a
just like
lifestyle.
it's a lifestyle.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly. And so it's like I really enjoy that. And uh, I just wanted to like touch on two things.
Yeah.
But first I wanted to ask you when you started to first of all, this business, what is it? What are you like what are you selling? Like what is Live Fast? Is it a service? What is it?
Yeah. So we're in the apparel industry.
Okay.
So it's an athleisure, so like a Nike,
Okay, okay. Yeah,
Puma,
yeah, yeah.
Adidas,
All right.
casual wear type vibe,
Mm,
athletic type vibe, so
okay.
athleisure. So we sell clothes to be able to tell the story of Live Fast,
Mm,
because what you wear tells a story. And so I felt like the best way for me to tell my story was through apparel.
that's
And
good.
so that's what we do. We sponsor a soccer club here in Utah to be able to obviously help with spread the word, the
Yeah,
message,
yeah.
and then we sponsor Division One soccer athletes. So we're investing um, in as far as being able to spread the message. And lastly, we are in the process of being able to partner with a nonprofit organization
Mm,
that deals with mental health,
that's awesome.
because our purpose, number one priority, is mental health. And so we want to be able to be at a level as a brand to have enough resources where we can do things to contribute to the awareness of mental health, therapists, building facilities to invest in mental health research, things like that. So that's what we do,
That's
and
sweet.
that's what we sell.
So if I was to, let's say, sitting on my couch right now listening to this, and I was like, dang, I want me some Live Fast stuff.
Mm,
Like, what do they have to look forward to? What's coming up?
great question, brother. So April 5th, 7 p.m., my birthday. Um, Inshallah, as we say in the Muslim religion, if God allows it, if I make it
Mm,
that far,
yeah.
we're going to be launching our cozy set collection. It's sweatsuits for man and woman. Uh, I think this is going to be like the starting point for us as a brand to be able to put us to newer heights. Focus on marketing as far as how do we tell the story of Live Fast so people can hear it? How do we focus on our marketing? How do we focus on our quality product improvement? And so, genuinely believe that this collection we're going to drop April 5th at 7 p.m.
Mm,
And we also have other partnerships that we have lined up that we're going to announce that day. So we have a great lineup. April 5th, check us out. Livefastbrands.live is the website, baby. Check us out.
of course. Like I said, we will include his links and everything in the bio, in the description of everything. But real quick before we switch gears, I want to ask you, any advice for those who want to start a business?
Damn. Um, that's a deep question. I guess from experience doing this for 3 years, I think you have to understand what you want to do and why you want to do it.
Mm,
I think if you know why you want to do it, then you always figure out how to get it done.
mm,
And the purpose has to be bigger than yourself. If you're looking to just get gratification for yourself, I don't think it's going to be a long term investment. It's not
mm,
going to last you that long. I think the purpose has to be bigger than yourself. And when you do get started in whatever you want to do, I think the most important thing is to not give up when it gets difficult. No matter what adversities you face in life, don't ever give up.
mm.
And so I think that would be one of the best advices I would give to people starting a business.
It's awesome. Um, and so one more time, if we could, like, where, like, you can list your socials, list whatever you need to list right now. Like, we'll do this probably throughout the show, but like, where can they find you and your brand?
Yeah, so we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. Live Fast Brands with an S at the end. My personal one is it's underscore just Mo. Check us out. We're doing great things. We're getting involved with the community. And most importantly, we're focusing on wanting to be able to enhance the awareness of mental health. It is a serious topic. And I'm so happy that so many other brands, so many other companies, so many other nonprofit organizations are invested in this cause or in this awareness. People lose their lives every day of this. And so I think for us to be able to contribute and do our part, I'm super happy to be a part of it.
That's amazing. That's awesome. You mentioned earlier that you're part of the Muslim faith, Muslim religion. Currently, it is, I believe, I'm not like too well versed, but I do believe it's Ramadan. Do you want to
Yes.
explain to those what that is and what you're doing?
Yeah. So Ramadan in the Muslim religion is a month where Muslims fast where it's a month where Muslims fast for 30 days. Um, Basically, you start from dawn all the way to sunset. You don't eat or drink. And the reason for that is one for discipline, one for appreciation for, I would say like food. Remembrance of God is definitely like the number one, I would say, reason.
Mm,
But the backstory of Ramadan is that it's celebrated on the ninth month of the Islamic calendar.
okay.
So they use the moon phases,
Okay.
which is the lunar,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know what I mean, calendar. So the reason for that is because in the religion, that month was the month Muslims say that God reversed the verses of the first verses of the Holy Quran
Okay.
to Prophet Muhammad. And so it's a month of discipline. It's a month of remembrance of God. It's a month of staying away from basically all bad things. But that's why we do it.
That's awesome. For you, I mean, something I've seen with a common theme in all religions is the sense of wanting a better life,
Mm,
living a better life. Whether you're Christian, Islamic, or Judaism, like I'm sure and I'm just, this is from my personal opinion or experience, I'm sure that each religion practices what they practice because they want a better life than
mm.
what is offered in this temporal fallen world, you could say. And so for you, what does that look like to you? What has your religion, how has it played a part in your life?
Yeah, I mean, it played a major role. Well, for personally, for me, God is everything. God is the source of life. God takes life and gives life.
Mm,
And so, um, I was a point in my life where I kind of forgot that for a little bit, and for me to be able to be reminded of that and understand that that's something in my life that's always going to be like priority. God first, everything else secondary. And so to have a structure like that where I understand what I need to do, how I need to live, why I need to live that way,
mm,
not just how, but why do I need to do this? And so for me to have that kind of guidance in life contributes to almost every aspect of my life. So I think that's why it's important for me. Religion is important. And I'm just super, super grateful to be alive, bro. So
yeah.
shout out to God.
That's awesome. I think for me, I agree 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I belong to a different faith than you, but
Yeah.
what you just said, I have zero disagreements with because that is the essence. At the end of the day, underneath all the fluff and underneath all the differences and stuff like that, it comes back to the fact that God exists.
Right.
Like this man being is the reason you are standing every day
Right.
and living.
Right. And you mentioned you went on a mission, bro.
I did,
It
yeah.
was where was it again?
Togo,
Togo.
West. So
I
it's
don't think some people know, but you should.
so yeah. So Benin,
A lot of people might not know
yeah.
actually.
So in Africa, it's in the West Africa. It's in West Africa. It's called Benin and Togo. They're two little countries right next to each other in the same mission. And they speak French. So
Ooh, they speak French.
yes, sir. Oui, oui.
Wow. So do you speak French?
I do
Fluently.
fluently.
Wow. We got to put that to the test. That got to hit you with something.
But yeah, I did serve mission, and like in that time, I just realized I met a lot. Like in Africa, it's very Muslim heavy. Actually, like there's a lot of is like it's Christian. It's literally Christianity
Or Islam.
or Islam, and
Yeah.
it's like sit. And so I met a lot of these people, and I grew to appreciate the discipline. Like you said, use that word. Is the discipline like I don't know much about the religion, but from what I know, like we had people. I think I don't know if you have to correct me if I'm wrong, but there's like washing your feet and your hands
Yeah,
and
it's called
prayer beads.
yeah, yeah, you do that before you pray to get ready for prayer.
Yeah,
Wash your hands, wash your face. It's like cleanse so prayer is like when you're talking to God,
yeah,
So when you're talking to God, it's like cleansiness. You want to be clean, you want to be at your best. You
mhm,
don't want to be intoxicated. Like you want to be at a level of focus that you've never been before, at a level of respect that you've never been before when you're trying to interact with God. So they do that prior to being able to pray
Huh.
and have a prayer with God.
That's amazing, and I admire that. I admire
Yeah.
because like I have never even thought about, oh my goodness, I'm about to pray to the dude that made me.
Mm,
Like, am I clean? Am I unclean? What have I done right before I pray? Like, I don't think we realize that, which was something I admire so much. And when I learned of that, I was like, wow.
right. But out of curiosity, just to go back, what's the process? Because you went on a mission.
Yeah,
What's the
yeah.
process for going on a mission?
So the process, it's not as hard as
Yeah.
people make it out to be. So first of all, you have to have that desire, right? The passion to say, I put my whole entire life on pause.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna go away from family, friends for not like a week or a month, for like 18 months to
What
two
was that like?
years. I don't know.
Was
I mean,
that
for
the
me, it was
hardest
kind of
thing?
no, no.
No?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a very independent person.
Okay.
And I've always, like, my parents raised me to be an independent person. So I thrive when I'm on my own and responsible for myself. And
Mm,
like, and so being able to, like, it was super difficult initially, like leaving that the day I'm getting on the plane to leave, the hardest day of my mission.
wow.
Because I'm like, I'm not going to see y'all
But you could talk to them, FaceTime.
every Monday, every
Oh,
Monday.
oh, okay.
So I couldn't
Scheduled.
just call, yeah, I couldn't just call them whenever I wanted. So we had a
Gotcha.
dedicated day to where we could call it preparation day.
Gotcha.
And that's where we could call home. And, but that was it. And then the other weeks,
So, yeah,
missionary
in
work.
between that time, you're just focused on delivering
The word.
the word, the message.
That's it. And most of the time, like I remember, especially in Africa, it was just a lot of serving people,
Really.
just going up and talking to them. Like, I mean, you're in white shirts, ties.
Ties.
That's in Africa, my guy, in the heat. And people are like, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah. So, have you ever had any bad encounters during
Oh,
that time?
100%.
What was the worst thing you've experienced
It
during that time?
was you African. For those of you who don't know, there's something we call juju, black magic, okay? And we very much believe in this stuff, bro. We
Let's
believe in this stuff.
go. Yeah.
And like this stuff is danger, bro. You don't want to mess with this. I don't even care what religion I'm part of. You don't want to mess with this, man. And we went to this house and there were two idols, okay, with some devilish faces in the front.
That's a red
Um,
flag already.
and me and my companion were like,
Right.
we want to do it? I mean, do we want to go talk to the person? We ended up not going, but there was a conversation. We walked further down the street and we sat down with this man
Yeah.
and we started talking to this man and we couldn't even get halfway through the lesson and he started telling us what he believed, but it was like satanic stuff, like devilish stuff.
How deep was it? Do you
Deep,
remember?
deep, bro. Like I can't. I to this day, I very much remember that feeling of like you ever been on a roller coaster when you're going down and your stomach starts just yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of roller coasters. Is
That
that
was
crazy?
happening. That was literally happening to me, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, I am. I don't feel comfortable
Right,
here.
right,
Like I
right.
feel like it's scary. It was a very scary feeling, and that very much like helped me in my testimony of the fact that, dude, there are some powers in this universe
Mm,
that are not God,
mm.
and they are strong. And so that really strengthened my relationship with God that day.
Yeah, satanic is it's crazy. Crazy. I've never experienced that ever.
It's. I hope you don't.
Yeah, thank you.
I really hope you don't, man. It's
I
not
need that,
fun.
bro. I need that.
It's not fun. And like with with your religion, with your faith comes you, like who you are. Like we strip away the brand, we strip away your business, we strip away your religion. We're left with you.
Mm,
Okay. When you reflect, then, like and this is very pertinent to this question because your brand is live fast, move forward. So as you are moving forward and
mm.
you look back at school, you look back at religion, is there something you feel you should have done differently?
Damn, that's a deep one. Um, done differently? I don't think so. Because I know it sounds like cliche and maybe a lot of people say it, but
Yeah.
like where I'm at right now in life, I wouldn't trade it for the world. You know, I know I've dealing with the experiences that I've dealt with and how difficult it's been, and even being in the state of questioning God, like, are you real? Why me? Why this? Like, the fact that I'm here today, I think that's enough for me to just appreciate everything. So I wouldn't go back and change anything, bro, and from my past. No,
Well,
yeah, as
that's
cliche
awesome.
as it may sound, no,
No,
I
I
wouldn't.
honestly think that they're
Would you?
yeah.
Mm,
I think I would. And I don't say that because it's like I regret everything I've ever done in my life. No,
yeah,
because like you said, that it is what I am. It's how I'm in this spot. It's like the butterfly effect,
there you go.
where it's like if you change one thing about your past, you don't
Yep,
know what you could be doing
yep.
right now. So, but I do say yes because I feel like there were opportunities I missed.
Like what?
For instance, if I go back to high school, okay, I don't want to say I was a popular kid in high school. I don't consider myself. I just think I talked to everybody,
Right,
which might be the
bro.
humble way to say it. Like,
Everybody
but,
loved you. What do you
but
mean?
no, no, no. But that's my thing is like, I just don't like, because of that, I think I allowed myself to interact with certain people that maybe I shouldn't have.
Mm,
Just people that I think, like, not that they were looking to drag me down with them, but the lifestyle and the trajectory they were living was not in line with mine.
so is it more of like you wish you were more grounded on who you were and what
I
you
do.
believed in?
I honestly do.
Yeah,
I think there was a moment in high school, and also kind of why I'm grateful went on a mission,
yeah.
is because there was a moment in high school where a lot of different things that I thought I believed, I was like, oh, I don't know if I believe this anymore.
Mm,
And coming from the family background that we come from, where it's like, parents just want the best for you.
facts,
And if you even think
facts.
of going a different way, we got issues. I felt very pressured to think a certain way. And I was okay with it because my life was great. But there were people that I hung around that made me question that. For instance, you see people having a good time, remotely not even living or being as diligent as you are,
Right.
but they seem to be doing better. That happened a lot in high school. And I was like, oh no, I don't know if am I missing out? And because of that, I
Mm.
associated myself with these people and may have missed out on some other opportunities.
Is it more of like the fact that you were steered away from, because I'm sure if you had friends who like did what you were trying to be in line with,
Yeah.
then they would have put you on purpose. So is it more of like, I wish that, you know, I was more in line with what I wanted to do in life on purpose? And
Yeah.
but I mean, you were young, man.
I was,
You
which
were
is
young.
everyone like that's why I say like I don't think maturity actually hits you until you leave high school.
Yeah.
And you're a legal adult and you're on your own. I like to think of it this way to answer your question though. If you draw 2 points
Right.
and you point A and point B, the quickest way from A to B is a straight line,
Facts.
right?
Facts.
But I feel like this is the funny thing about life. You're gonna get to where you're gonna get to.
Facts.
What determines when you get there is what you do in the present, right? And so like I feel like instead of me having people that like would get me from A to B the quickest, most efficient, entertained a lot of friendships and a lot of activities that I was like kind of taking a whole detour. Like I turned left, turned right, did a whole loop de loop. Eventually I got to
You
B.
got there, right.
I got here.
Right.
But it was like I could have learned so many lessons quicker.
Mm.
I could have I could have seen life from a different perspective, but I don't regret it. There's a difference between me saying I would do stuff different and saying I regret it. I don't regret it at all. It's who I am. But that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Don't you think you had to experience that to realize that that's not what you wanted?
Yeah, I think so. I really do. Like, I don't think it helped me in the moment,
Facts.
but it's I'm
Yeah.
older now and I look back and I'm like, oh, yeah, I probably, this is what I learned. This is
Yeah,
so,
and the interesting thing with that is, like, some people don't take experiences like you did, where
mm,
you said, "Damn, like, this was a bad experience.
this is a better,
These were some bad people,
yeah,
bad environment,"
yeah,
whatever the case was, and for you, like, to be able to say that like, man, like I don't want to do this anymore. Like this ain't for me. And you use that experience as leverage. You
Mhm.
know, some people I feel like they go through things and they continue to go through things and they don't learn.
Yeah.
So the fact that you were able to learn something and say that, man, that ain't for me, and I'm gonna commit to this. I think that sets you up for life, bro. It's a good
No,
skill.
absolutely. No, I appreciate that, and I like, and not to. By the way, I'm not saying any of the people I interacted with in high school or these people in my past were serial killers. Like, they weren't bad people. They had great qualities. Like, they weren't bad people. It was more of the lifestyle.
There you
It
go.
was more of this is how they live their lifestyle. I found it like it was cooler than mine, and
Yeah.
so I wanted to join that. And so, I don't
Let
have
me
anything
let me
against
ask
them
you this.
or
So,
anything.
because that pretty much goes to like finding your tribe, right? You've heard
Yeah,
that. How do you think people go about being able to find their tribe? Do you think it's more of like you have to go through certain stuff, or do you feel like you hit a certain point? Do you have to go through some kind of experience, or how do you think? Because I feel like a lot of people waste their time when they're not doing what they want to do or being around who they want to be.
yeah.
And like you said, like you would have wished you were more with your tribe.
Mhm.
So how do you think people can accomplish that? Can do that?
I think there's a hard truth.
There you go.
It's a hard truth, and I'm actually currently in the process of learning this. You have to understand sometimes you don't need to be in people's lives. Sometimes people don't need to be in your life, and that's okay. Like,
Hmm.
you don't owe a reason. There's no explanation. There's no "I'm sorry." There's no like, it's just a hard truth that, look, if you are going in a certain trajectory, you don't need certain people there.
Can't take everybody with you.
And you can't. You really can't. And I think that's how you find your tribe is realizing, hey, I think people pleaser is what they call them. And I definitely still have qualities of that. But it's like when you're trying to please everybody and not hurt somebody's feelings and not do this, you're never going to get anywhere.
Mm,
You have to understand that, like, look, if your priority, for instance, for me, if I could speak personally, for me, my priority right now is school, first and foremost, basketball, and this podcast, right? If because all of my time is dedicated to those 3, sometimes I neglect some relationships, which is a bad thing, or I don't think is a bad or a good thing, but it's one of those things where it's like, then you gotta have this awkward sit down and conversation where you go, "I'm not looking for this right now," and they're like, "Why?" And you're like, "It's
ri
just not my priority,"
right, right.
right?
Now I'm personal, like,
Yeah,
I don't want that. We're on different levels.
yeah,
And like you said, it's the truth. And I think nowadays, like, the truth is like it's not it's not around much.
mm,
And even if it is, a lot of people don't apply it.
yeah,
And so we live in a world of like facade, like trying to fit in, doing things that you know are not right. The truth is doing what's right. And if you're not doing what's right, then you know that's not the truth.
mm,
And so people don't want to face that. Like you talking about, making sacrifices for what you want to do, figuring out your priorities
yeah,
and understanding that when you have your priorities straight, certain people are aligned with that.
yep.
And if you're not aligned with that, then
I
it's
don't know what
not
to tell you.
personal.
I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, it's definitely true. Like, and this has happened to me too. It's not like I'm the only one. Like, there have been people
Facts.
I've talked to,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden we don't talk,
Facts.
and I'm like, "Oh, I didn't do anything wrong. They didn't do anything wrong. What
Yeah.
happened?" It's just we have to understand life has this natural trajectory we're on. We have the capacity to change it. That requires effort that sometimes we're not willing to do because we have so many other things going on.
Facts.
And so that's kind of my thing is like I've fallen out with different people and I'm like if I see them today, I'll be like, "Oh my goodness, how are you doing?" And we catch up. But we haven't talked in months or
Right.
years, right? And it's like, "Oh, that's okay. I don't hate you. You don't hate me. We didn't do anything wrong. We're still great friends
Right.
or acquaintances if you want to use that word." But like that's just how it works.
Yeah. I think it comes down to like just don't like people get personal.
Yeah.
And like I think when you get personal, it hits something in your heart. So it's like it's not personal, bro. Like this is just a part of the way it is right now, and
Mhm.
let's just accept it.
Absolutely.
Let's face the truth.
You know what it is here at Open Dialogue. It's time for the open question segment. All right?
Talk to
This
me.
segment I've actually not looked at these questions yet. You have no idea what these questions are.
Dang.
Um, So we gonna choose maybe two or three. We'll see what time permits, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm on the hot seat, huh?
You are on the hot seat,
All right.
and feel free. Like I'll share my
Can I
ideas
plead the
as well.
fifth?
Okay,
Shoot.
let's see. Okay, this person wants to remain anonymous. Um, so they said this is I guess a specific question. They said, can you share a pivotal moment in your career that helped shape who you are today?
Mm,
Dang, that's a
dang.
great question.
It's anonymous?
That's a not. Can
Man, yeah, let me get a
this
hold of
person
you.
don't want to? Oh my goodness. Okay.
That's a great question. Hold on. So can I
Uh, can you share a pivotal moment in your career that helped shape who you are today?
damn, that's a good
I'm sure
question.
there's like 8,000 of those
Yeah,
moments.
so I'm like, what moment should I pick? Um, I don't think any of them are above each other, but I would probably say having the courage to um dang, I don't so what experience did I go through
Yeah, just a
that
moment.
that contributed to my career? Is that what they said?
Yeah, like that just helped shape you.
My career. I would probably say launching our first ever collection was a moment that made me understand that like the fact that I did a collection, even though it was small, was like more motivation to keep going.
Mm,
And I think the starting point is always like the hardest part. Well, sometimes for people it's the easiest, but for most part, like the starting point is the hardest part for people when
yeah,
they want to start something. And so the fact that I started my business and launched what we launched, I think that was like one of the most pivotal moments of my career.
yeah. Um, and then this one is doesn't want to say no. So this is at Katie H. Anderson. She asked how to deal with someone's passing.
Mm, dang. So, well, I mean, if you experienced that, Katie, my condolences to you and your loved ones. Um, I would say seek help. I would say that's a point in your life where it is 1000% okay to be vulnerable with how you feel. And everybody does grieve differently. But I think at that point in your life, if you go through that, because I lost my nephew 2 years ago now.
Mhm.
And so, and I heard, you went
Yeah,
through what you went through. And so everybody grieves differently. But, I think the most important thing is to understand that it's 1000% acceptable and okay to be vulnerable and express how you feel, whether it's anger, whether it's frustration, whether it's sadness. It's 1000% okay to be vulnerable with what you're feeling and expressing that. And you should have people around you who support
yeah,
that time in your life.
yeah. I 100% agree with that. I think that that is a very interesting question and varies from person to person. But at the end of the day, I feel like in all the answers that you could answer that, it's very important to understand you're not alone,
There you go, facts.
right? And
Yep.
so it's like we all go through it, and when you do go through it, the worst thing I feel personally for me that you could do is isolate yourself.
Mm,
And then because of that, we've got that stems a whole nother set of
yeah.
problems.
Depression,
Yeah,
anxiety. I mean, the list goes on. I think it's like I was saying, you have to find people who are going to let you be like that in that stage. And you need a support system like you're
yeah.
talking about. Like isolating yourself is a recipe for disaster.
Mm, I like that. Ooh. Ooh. Hold on. Run that back.
Not bad.
Isolating yourself is a recipe for disaster. That's a quote right there.
Unless you're trying to be creative.
Unless you're doing that, then lock yourself all you want.
Solitude, baby, solitude.
Okay. And so one last thing, and this is my personal question. I just actually thought about this.
Yeah,
I want to ask you, um, mental health.
yeah.
Um, I wanted to ask you, like, if I could, and you don't have to be specific on your experiences, anything like that, but um, if you could advocate right now for those people out there that are struggling through mental health issues, what do they need to understand? Or even vice versa, someone who isn't going through it and but knows someone, what do they need to understand?
Yeah, I think mental health, first of all, bro, anybody going through that or anybody especially who's lost somebody related to mental health, my condolences to you and your loved ones for sure. But man, like mental health, I think is so serious, bro. Like the fact that somebody can take their life due to mental reasons or whatever is going on. But what I would tell them, man, is like seek help. I think it's okay to be vulnerable with how you're feeling. It's okay to be vulnerable with the things that are going through your mind, through your body, through your personal life. The most important thing in this life is to have people there to support you. And I think if you have that, um, man, it's priceless.
Yeah.
It's priceless. And so I think if you're going through anything mental health related, seek help. Um, talk to your loved ones. If you don't have any loved ones, man, I'm sure there's helplines you can call. But most importantly, I would say live fast.
Yeah, for sure. Hey,
Live
hey.
fast.
Oh, okay. Live fast. Hey, and by the way, like if you're listening to this and you think you're not loved, I love you.
There you go.
You got one person. You got two people. I'm
There you
sure.
go.
I'm
We
sure God
love
loves you
you.
too, man. See, there you go. And so before we wrap up this episode, real quick, Mo, I want to ask you: is there any last thoughts, any last advice, wisdom, nuggets of wisdom you want to just drop before we close out?
Man, well, what I would clarify too with our brand is that, definitely we deal with mental health, priority number one. But at the same time, you don't only have to be going through a mental health situation to be able to associate yourself with Live Fast Brands.
Mm,
What we say is Live Fast Brands is for anybody and for everybody.
yeah.
And so you don't only have to be going through a mental health situation to be able to associate with us with Live Fast Brands. Word of advice, I would probably say, um, gain some wisdom through adversity and don't give up.
Facts. That's facts. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very, very grateful. And Mo, I'm very grateful to you for taking time to come on
Absolutely,
um,
bro.
and share some of that. Real quick, will you let them know one more time where they can find you and your brands?
Yeah, absolutely. Check us out. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. We're gonna be on TikTok as well. Lift Fast Brands. I know they have their whole situation going on.
It might not
Uh,
exist in a couple of weeks.
So prayers up, bro. Prayers up. Yeah, check us out. Live Fast Brands. My personal is it's underscore just Mo. Like I mentioned, we're doing things to get involved with our communities. We're focusing on the importance of bringing awareness to mental health, which is very, very serious. So we're trying to do great things to contribute to that awareness. Check us out. You don't have to buy anything. All we want to do is we want to be able to leave an impact on your life for hope you can tell somebody else or apply it to your personal life. So check us out and live fast, baby. Live
Hey, low
fast.
key though, but do buy something. Them shirts look mad comfy. I ain't gonna lie. But ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to Open Dialogue on wherever you listen or watch this podcast. Your participation is crucial and helps us connect with more listeners like you. If there's certain topics you want us to discuss, please reach out. If you want to be featured in our open questions segment, send me your questions at my personal Instagram, which is at OsimeOfficial, or the Open Dialogue Podcast Instagram, which is at open_dialogue_podcast. And make sure to follow us on YouTube and other places for updates and sneak peeks of our upcoming episodes. Don't forget to share this podcast with your friends and family.
Yep.
Remember, Mo, this has been Open Dialogue Podcast.
There you go.
The
And make sure
podcast,
you
yeah.
guys follow the podcast, spread the word,
Appreciate you,
tell your
appreciate you.
family, tell your
Yes,
friends,
sir.
tell your dogs if you have to,
Bro,
man.
let
Spread the
the
message.
dogs.
My man is doing great things out here.
I
So
appreciate it, Mo.
thank you for having me, brother.
Thank you. All right. Once again, we are the podcast where every voice matters. And until next time, keep the dialogue open.
Out. Man, feel like we went overtime, brother.